So then, like, Elena's, like, begging Klaus to, let Jenna go, you know, so Jeremy won't be alone, and she keeps telling Jenna, like, you know, like, let them kill me, and, you know, not you, and it's kind of really sad, and then that's when Stefan shows up to, like, bargain with Klaus, and you already know what he's there for, to sacrifice himself. And then you go back to the witch house. John and Bonnie and Jeremy are looking through the journals, and they found that there's a spell, kind of, where Elena won't turn into a vampire as long as her soul's intact. And it's basically like a parent-child sacrifice. Yeah, so you kind of know what's gonna go down there. And he's like playing the parent card, John. Like, it's kind of surprising. You never thought you'd see that side of John. Yeah, I'm really sorry if this is boring. I'm boring myself to death. So yeah, then yeah, in the background of, like, when they go back to, like, where the sacrifice is taking place, I kept hearing, like, this little sound, and from my Puerto Ricans out there, they sound like coquis, which are, like, these little frogs in Puerto Rico. I'm so sidetracked, but I was just like, what the hell? I wasn't aware that they were filming in Puerto Rico. Just saying. Anyways, you go back to, like, the sacrifice place, and Jenna hears that, Stefan wants to sacrifice himself in place of her. You can see that Elena's kind of, like, conflicted with that, and Jenna, I guess, doesn't want that to happen either. You go back to, like, the Lockwood house and, the Lockwood mansion, and, you hear Matt and Caroline talking, and, he's pretty much telling her he can't get past the whole vampire thing, that he has human problems. Basically, I have human problems, I can't deal with your supernatural ones. Yeah, end of story. That's pretty much what he's saying, and I'm just like, yes, bitch, like, go ahead, put her in the arms of Tyler, let her run into Tyler's arms. I'm so Team Forward, needs to happen. Matt and Caroline don't go together. No, they don't. You go to the witch house, and, Bonnie did, like, some kind of spell on John, and you're like, what the hell, but then you remember the spell that they're talking about. Everybody's about to leave the witch house, and Jeremy's like, well, I'm not going without you. I'm not letting you go without me. Bonnie goes and gives him a kiss, and it's like a spell to, like, knock him out. I'm just like, really? Even that, like, spell kiss didn't have no chemistry. Just putting that out there. Don't like them together. Season 3, let's hope they break up. Then, like, you see that Alaric tries to leave with Elijah, Bonnie, and Damon, and Bonnie did a spell to keep him into the house, keep him inside the witch house. And that is basically her saying, she tells him, I can't have anybody else die, and, or get hurt, and I'm just like, oh, shit. And when Alaric starts, like, screaming for her to, like, let him out, because he wants to go save Jenna, it, like, makes me want to cry. I'm already tearing up. Yeah, I'm tearing up because I couldn't record this yesterday because I was, like, crying every time I thought about it. I'm, like, gonna start crying again, so it's like, so excuse me. So anyways, Stefan, tries to sacrifice himself, and Greta starts doing the spell. Jenna ends up going to bite Greta, and then Klaus takes Jenna. Yeah, and then, Jenna dies, and I'm crying. Yep. Then you see Klaus, like, you go to Klaus, he's about to sacrifice Elena, and, I can't even think because I'm just, like, crying. He goes to sacrifice Elena, and then Stefan's pissed because he sees that he couldn't save Jenna, he couldn't save Elena. And Klaus goes to Elena, thank you. She's like, you can go to hell. I'm just like, holy shit, because I'm still crying, And then, Klaus bites Elena, and Stefan's just, like, really upset because he just sees Elena laying there. He starts transforming into, like, this were-vamp. I'm just like, holy shit, he looks scary as hell, transforming into the were-vamp. And then Bonnie comes out, like, all badass. Like, I'm gonna give my props to Bonnie, even though I don't like her. Like, she did come out badass, but I am kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see more of her power. It was just, like, for like a second, and it was like all this build up to like this badass Bonnie scene, and we only had about like 5 seconds of it. I wanted to see her and Greta, have like a showdown, but then Damon just like cracks her neck, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I wanted to see a Bonnie Greta showdown, but whatever. Yeah. So then Damon goes and grabs Elena, and he like places her right next to Stefan, and I think that kind of showed like another brother moment, and that like really like made me happy, because like again I said I love the brotherly moments. He's trying to save both of them, and then Stefan's all like, well, I'm not leaving until I guess Bonnie's done. He's trying to like kind of protect Bonnie. So anyways, like Bonnie comes, and she, when she does her like spell thing, Klaus is out, like he's like really weak, and freaking Elijah comes, he's about to rip out his heart, so you're like, damn, Elijah, and then you're like, shit, because you realize, okay, he's not gonna rip out his heart, it's his brother, and then excuse me, it's his brother, and you realize he's not gonna rip out his heart. Klaus is like, well, they're not dead, the family's not dead, and with you killing me, you're never gonna find them. And in that sense, I mean, a lot of people are just like, oh, Elijah, you asshole, because he chooses Klaus over, everybody else. And it's like, at that point, wouldn't you do the same to be with your family? Like, understand to be mad at Elijah, but think about it from your viewpoint. If this was real life, you would choose your family, to see your family, even if it meant it was a lie. But yeah, it did mean that they died for nothing. Well, yeah, they died for nothing, basically. And now Klaus is a werevamp, and he's on the loose. You flash into the witch house with Johnny, with John, Jeremy, and Alaric. They're waiting for, to get word back, and they're like, we should have heard from them by now. And at that point, I just like started crying again. I was like, oh my god, when they tell freaking Alaric and Jeremy that Jenna's dead, I'm going to start bawling again. You're waiting for, they're just waiting for them, and then you see Damon come into the house holding Elena, and he's all like, if you come back as a vampire, I'll stake you myself. And then he's like, you're like, what the hell? And then he's like, because I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand the idea of you hating me forever. I'm just like, that's such a sweet Delena moment. Alaric and Jeremy run upstairs, and they find out that Jenna died. Damon tells them, and just like, okay, I expected Jeremy to cry, but just like the look on his face, like, killed me. Same thing with Alaric. I was just like, oh. It seriously made me cry. Like, I'm tearing up again right now thinking about it. Like, this is real life or something. Damn you, Vampire Diaries. Then John basically leaves. He like leaves a letter and something with Jeremy to give to Elena, and he tells Alaric to take care of them. So you already know that he's gonna die. So as soon as he walks out of the house, he looks back in. He drops dead basically right there outside, and Elena comes back to life. And who would have thought I would have cried over John dying? Because I hated him for killing Anna, but that moment just like, yeah, it killed me. Then after all this crying, they jump into like the Forwood moment. I'm just like, oh, thank God. He's like, Tyler tells Caroline, oh, like, you're right, I should have never came back. And she's like, no, you should have never left, and you shouldn't leave again. And he's all like, you're kidding, this is the second time I've tried to kill you. And Caroline's just all like, well, can't you just say thank you, Caroline, for taking care of me? And he ends up hugging Caroline because she tells him that her mat broke up, and they're like laying there under the cover, and he's all naked. Yeah, that's the silver lining. Whew. Naked Tyler and Forwood. Yeah. That's the silver lining. He hugs her, and he's all like, thank you, Caroline, for taking care of me. And I'm just like, oh, yes, Forwood's in motion. Yeah. I can't wait for season 3 if Caroline survives. Well, hoping she does, because if they kill her off next week, I'm going to be inconsolable. Forwood's definitely in motion, and I'm kind of happy about that. Um, then they jump to the funeral scene. That scene killed me. Well, like, it's like Jeremy and Elena in her room getting ready for the funeral, and it killed me. Because Elena looks at him and she's like, I'm sorry for you, like, pretty much for basically for losing everything. I'm so sorry that you've lost so many people. And when he looks at her, he's like, I still have you. That made me cry again. It's an emotional recap. Like, what the hell? This is supposed to be funny, and it's not. He's like, I still have you, and then he hugs her, and it, like, I'm just like, finally we get a brother-sister moment, and we see them acting as brother and sister, and, without, like, anybody else in the scene. Like, we finally got some Jeremy scenes without Bonnie, and I'm really happy about that. Hopefully, that's, like, an indication of next season that we'll actually get some scenes with him and Elena. Like, I really, really want to see some brother-sister moments. Jeremy gives Elena the letter, and she starts reading it, and just, like, in the letter, John's basically apologizing to her, and, you know, telling her that he's sorry for his prejudices, and sorry that things had to be this way, that he loved her, and that he wasn't a good father, you know, and that he wishes he could have been, and that she's an extraordinary daughter, and, she sees that he gave her the ring, too, and, that made me cry really bad. I was just like, oh. Enter the funeral scene. That, like, really made me cry. Just all there, and, you know, Elena putting the flower in the grave, Allard putting the flower in the grave. Just that whole scene just, like, killed me. Elena goes and, like, she has, like, this moment where she just stares at Damon, and it's like crazy because Damon looks really hurt too. They all start leaving, and you see Damon going the opposite way, and Stefan goes after him, and he's like, well, where are you going? Elena needs us, and she needs all of us, and Damon's like, well, I don't need to, like, give her something else to be sad about, basically saying that, and he goes and shows Stefan the bite, and he's like, Taralako bit me, I'm gonna die, basically, and, the look on Stefan's face, like, you could tell, like, he doesn't want Damon to die. Like, even though they have their differences, he doesn't want Damon to die. That's his brother, regardless. And, he's just really, like, he's like, we're gonna, like, pretty much we're gonna find a way to beat this. And then Damon walks away. And, yeah, this whole episode just, like, made me cry. Like, if I would have recorded this last night, I would have been bawling. So, yeah, I'm sorry if this recap's really boring. Oh, enter next week, you see Damon, you see Damon is pretty much starting to get the hallucinations and everything from the wolf bite, and you see Emily is in the next episode, and Stefan's trying to find a way to save Damon. I actually think either, Elena's blood will save Damon, or actually, Bonnie will save Damon, and maybe that's what puts Damon in motion. I don't want that to happen, but at this point, I'm just like, stay away from Jeremy. I don't want her with Jeremy anymore. So, yeah. I can't wait for next week. Yeah, it looks like Damon and Elena are actually gonna have a kiss, but my sister may think he's hallucinating, and he thinks it's Catherine, and he's like having like a flashback. So that's how the kiss happens. I think people said they heard Elena say, like, I made the wrong choice. I don't think she was referring to the brothers, but that's just me. So anyways, we'll see you next week who dies. I have a feeling we have one more casualty, and it's just crazy. And if yesterday's episode killed me, I can't even imagine how the next one's gonna kill me. Like, I think yesterday should have been, like, the season finale. Because they have a lot to live up to. Well, this episode has a lot to live up to, so, yeah, I guess that's it. I hope you aren't too boring. You're still with me. Yeah, thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, follow me